Welcome into the Toby Foreman pregame show, and we're here, but no game tonight, Coach. You got that bye opponent. I know that's one of your favorite opponents, especially right now when you've got kids banged up like you do. That bye is coming at a pretty good time right now. Yeah,
it really is. I mean, we've been banged up for a little while, but kids have competed well all season in 6 games in a scrimmage. So, you know, we are looking forward to this bye, and we'll be scouting tonight. Our coaches will be at all 4 of our last opponents' games, and you know I'll be scouting in Red Oak, which is our last opponent, against Waco High, because that's our next opponent.
Yeah, and of course, last week, what a ball game out at Cchelles Stadium, just inches away from coming away with the victory over them.
Yeah, you know they were that's a quality team. You know, Coach Robinson does a great job. They're undefeated and ranked in the top 10 in the state for a reason. But we did have them for a good majority of that game on the ropes, and you know, late in that game they kicked the field goal to beat us for the 2nd year in a row by 3 points, and so we match up apparently pretty good with them over the last couple of years, and we just hadn't been able to pull out a victory. But kudos to them; they did what they had to do to win the game, and I definitely thought that was by far our best defensive performance of the year. You know, the last 2 weeks of district play, we've allowed 6 points to Ellison, and we've allowed 17 points now to Red Oak, and both those I believe are season lows for those teams. So that's a big deal. You know, you end up allowing 23 points in 2 weeks, and unfortunately you go 1-1 down that stretch. But you know that's over with, and now we look forward to our next opponent that we will be playing, which is Waco High.
Yeah, and you've got 2 weeks to get ready for them, a week to heal up this week and start looking at Waco High. Pretty talented team. Took Ellison right to the very end of the ball game. Ellison scored with no time left on the clock, kicked the extra point to win the game against Waco High. So they're a good team, and they're getting better all the time.
Yeah, you know, their schedule's kind of deceiving because at the end of the day, I think their defense is their strength. But they make mistakes sometimes on special teams, and they turn the ball over sometimes, and it really puts them behind the chains a lot during the game. So, but you can't anticipate that. What we've got to do is continue to get better on offense, defense, and special teams, and we've got to come out with energy. It's going to be at their place. It's going to be during our off week, which is going to be awkward, and it's a Thursday game, so it doesn't get more awkward than what it will be next week. We're playing on an off week on a Thursday, and that's not the norm. So we will practice all week in the morning, which will be a little different, and then we'll play our sub-varsity games on Wednesday, and then we will play our varsity game that Thursday at 7 o'clock right there at Waco ISD Stadium.
So who got the bye week on the off week? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's who drew the lucky straw right there. But
yeah, but we're the only district that has the off week, so I don't think it's any of us. I think we're all playing. Yeah. Now I don't know about Chaparral or Harker Heights, but in our district, I think Killeen's already had theirs, Ellison's already had theirs, and now we've had ours. So it's none of us.
Yeah.
But you know, the other schools don't have that off week, so they're still in a regular routine. Whereas we're about to have chaos next week. Next week will be chaos for football.
So you're telling the kids that this is their football practice bye week right here.
This is your
going on right now.
You have an academic bye week as far as attending classes, but you do not have a practice bye week.
And I noticed you were checking on that. That's something y'all stay on top of here.
Yes.
Making sure these kids are making the grades, they're going to classes, doing what they're supposed to do. And what do you tell me, 92%?
Yeah, right now. No, we're right at 96% of our kids are with a 70 average or above, which we shoot for an 80, 80 or above. But if you end up with a 70, that's you can still fix that, because we want them all to have an opportunity to attend a 4-year college if that's what they choose. But so our opponent this week is we're not bye. This is a grading period week, so it's academics is the biggest opponent, and that's always our biggest opponent. But we take pride in having a 95+% passing rate on this team. That's a big deal. With 212 kids in the program, that's a big deal.
So textbooks in the huddle this week, huh?
Textbooks everywhere. We're in the classrooms.
We're in the hallway out here reading.
So
right now.
all 4 days, because it's a short week, we don't have school Friday for the kids. But all 4 days this week will be in tutorials. We were in tutorials, and that's a big deal for at least an hour each of those days. And I think our teachers appreciate that. because we do put an extra effort and extra emphasis on the academics, and that's a big deal because that's why they come to school. Everybody that's in the program is not going to go to Alabama and play football or go straight to the America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. That's just not going to happen. So we prepare them for life and whatever it is that they're going to be doing in their future.
You had to get that in there, didn't you?
Well, we got to remind people that America's team is definitely not the New England Patriots. And we've seen what's happened to them as of late.
No, but there's been some great football. Last weekend there was some great football on TV. In fact, lots of good college games, and even watching some of the Friday night games that I got to watch on from the West Coast on ESPN. I mean, some of these schools are unbelievable. Some of these select high schools, these IMG academies and places like this, unbelievable talent.
I feel like I was at a great game last Friday. I just didn't come out on the winning end of that thing because there was talent all over the field, the other day. But yeah, I mean, all those kids that participate on Fridays and Thursday night games wouldn't be possible unless they took care of their academics, and that's one thing that I know we stress, and I know coaches throughout the state stress, and it's important to us, and we like bragging on our kids. I mean, the AB honor roll list will come out in a couple weeks, and we'll have freshman JV varsity pictures that we'll release, and we'll send it to you, and so we put that out there on social media because that's as important as any win that we have. That's the biggest win is in the classroom, and when they graduate, walk across the stage to go on to the next part of their life and try to get where they want to be. Whether that means being working in a trade, a welder, a plumber, broadcast, or going to school, to be in education and going to get a 4-year degree, or going in the service.
The kids around here.
But I mean, of course, going in the service is a big deal around here, and I know we have a good portion of kids that do that year in year out. But we want the kids to be able to achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve, and it starts when they're in high school and all the way through until they graduate. And that's important to us.
Will you run that Waco offense during practice for the next week and a half then and kind of look at it and run against it?
I will not run it, but someone will around here.
Yeah,
I
haven't seen you play quarterback in at least 2 years. So.
And I played early in the year now. I was a
mid-Lothian
Chaparral scout team quarterback. I still got a little
I didn't see it, so I'm not buying it.
Chipped a tooth early in the year.
Oh, I know about that.
Oh, yeah. But no, Waco on offense, they're a spread team. And, I know it's early for this, but Reggie Lewis is their quarterback. Last year he had a tore-up knee, so he didn't get to play. He's a senior this year. Does a really, really good job. My apologies, that was R.J. Young as was their quarterback. And then on defense, they run a 3-3 stack, and they're led by number 6, LaXavier Amos. He played against us last year, did a really good job. He actually plays both ways. So they've got talent on their team now. I mean, like I said, don't be fooled by the record. And I expect to go up to Red Oak and see them get after Red Oak this week because they got athletes and they have a good coach, Coach Help. He does a really good job. And so, like I said, we expect when we get to them, it'll be a dogfight, and that's kind of what we always get when we go to Waco for sure. Last year we got on pretty good here early because of turnovers, but if they don't turn the ball over and they're sound in special teams, it'll be a really tough game, for us next Friday.
So we'll let that marinate for a week or so and let you get ready with the boys. And we're very proud, like I said, of the academics. You're putting out here 96%. That's unbelievable from what was here just a few years back and at some of the other schools right now, in fact. So doing a great job, and your staff is too, and the way they're out here working with these kids and everything. Just can't say. I don't know what else to say about y'all. Great staff. We have it all the way across KIC too. All 5 high schools. There's so many coaches that really care about these kids, and people just don't realize it. All they see is the yelling and the hollering from the sidelines, but you wouldn't believe I get to see these kids and these coaches together, and not only you, Toby, here at Shoemaker, but the other schools do a great job. And I guess we have to give Micah the credit for everything.
We're definitely not going to give Micah the credit for any of that because, to be honest with you, I don't think he hired any of us. But I will say this: I agree with you. All 5 athletic coordinators do a really good job of putting emphasis on that. I know, Mr. Wells and Coach Lawler and Mr. Williams, Coach Williams. They do a great job of communicating with not only our high schools about the academic progress, and what needs to be improved, as well as our middle schools. And so that's a big deal. You know, we work together with our middle schools. We have 11 total, working on number 12 being built right out there. I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, but out there by Chaparral High School. So, you know, you'll have, in the next couple of years, you'll have 17 total, either middle school or high schools, where you'll be monitoring athletes' grades. And, you know, that's a lot for that few amount of folks. But we do take pride in that, and we do a good job, and the expectation is high throughout this district.
Well, good luck against that bye team. I hope you get a victory against them.
Yep, I appreciate that, and as always, go Gray Wolves.
You're watching I-14 Sports Network.